Bitcoin is the next big thing, but will crash like the dot-com bubble. Economist H. Dent, what H. Dent doesn't realize is it has crashed like the dot-com bubble every single cycle. So yes, it has crashed. And if you look at what he said, he's like, yeah, now that I understand, I think it's amazing, but it needs to be like an Amazon where it crashes to basically to death before it comes back up, and then it'll be good. Guess what? Bitcoin has done that like 4 times already, from the very first cycle to the second to third, and we're going to the fourth. It has done that every single time. And it's true. Every single time Bitcoin comes back stronger than ever, right? But I feel like this person just doesn't know much about the history of Bitcoin. So, but it's good to see people, economists around the world, the more they learn about Bitcoin and what it's about, the more they believe in it and the more excited they are about it. So that's good. That's good overall. Here's a chart about a double bottom. A lot of people looking at a double top for DXY. Well, we're looking at a double 4 mark and then head to 25. And then we need to head to that 29 mark. There's a big gap between basically 25 and 29. And if we could fill that, and then I think we're going to have a little hard time breaking, 29, 30,000. But if we do, then we could see that break just like in 2019, right? So very similar, very, very similar. This looks at the overall value transacted on the Bitcoin network. Over $100 trillion have transacted on the Bitcoin network. So this is no longer a pet project. This is competing with the likes of Visa, MasterCard, Western Union, and all other financial companies that, that sends money worldwide. That's what Bitcoin is now. That's how big the network is. It's huge, huge. Percent supply last active 2 years at almost 45%. So 45% of Bitcoin has not moved. So think about that. Almost 50%. You think about it. 50% of supply has not moved in 2 years. Shows you how strong the holders are, right? They continue to hodl or hodl. I like hodl. It sounds better. The exchange deposits, of course, going down. Who wants to sell Bitcoin at low, right? So, of course, this is going to go down. So these are good. There's some interesting things coming out. Here's an unorthodox Bitcoin trend that could trigger BTC demand. It's not really that interesting. It's something that I've been saying. And basically, if you look at the holders versus newcomers, right? All previous cycles, you have like retail people coming in and then they get out, right? And that's really it. This time around, we had the same thing, but the holders got stronger and you have more holders now, right? So a lot of things have changed. So according to CoinShares, they basically said what I've been saying. We believe what we're observing is users increasingly using Bitcoin as a long-term savings tool and less as a shorter-term object of speculation, and that is true. Like I said, prior exponential runs, FOMO runs, you see a ton of FOMO people get in basically only to speculate on, the future price increase, right? And yes, we had that, but right now, even so, even when Bitcoin is down, we're starting to see more and more people turn to Bitcoin because they're trying to use it as long-term savings or AKA a store of value or AKA inflation hedge, right? So we're definitely seeing that. And it basically shows the system is maturing and more people understand, right? I don't think it's really that complex, but it is showing that we are in a very different spot now versus all the previous cycles we have been through where it's basically only retail FOMO and then retail dumping. And then when we have a halving event, again, retail FOMO, retail dumping, that's it, right? But now we actually have some real serious holders and even institutions that's involved, right? And they're holding too. and the holders in the space are getting stronger than ever too. So all good things. All good things. Other good things, a lot of people are looking at the DXY. Here's a really good look of what happened before when the DXY, the strength of the dollar, started going down. Okay, so you could see a couple times when DXY went down, what happened with Bitcoin. It went on both times actually, not just one. Both times went up on, like crazily upwards, right? So we are now seeing DXY sky high once again. A lot of people is thinking that we will see it come down, right? And if so, what does that mean? Well, it could definitely drive Bitcoin upwards, just like the two prior times. So interesting look of how DXY correlates with Bitcoin and also correlates with just RSI. So looking at that, interesting. And of course, I've shown different variations of this. Number of addresses holding at least one Bitcoin. A lot of people have been telling me in the chat, hey, I became a whole coiner, George, and I've been saying congratulations, right? The number of people becoming a whole coiner, at least having one Bitcoin, is going up and up and up. And now there are close to 900,000 addresses, at least one Bitcoin. But don't be discouraged if you're thinking, I don't have a Bitcoin, but there's already 900,000 people with one. Most people have more than one address, right? So does not mean there's 900,000 people that actually have one Bitcoin. It could be only 400,000 or 500,000 or even less, right? So don't be discouraged if you don't have one yet, but I would say it's a great goal to have at least to have one Bitcoin, right? Here's a good chart of Bitcoin, right? The moving average of 10-day versus the 100. And you're looking at, there's certain times the crossover happens, right? We're in one of those times. And then when it crosses back, that's when good things happen, right? So we're still waiting for that to happen. But first things first, we need to see Bitcoin break to 29,000 again. Then things will get interesting because that's pretty much 29,000 is kind of like our baseline. That's where we need to get back to. And we need to cross that in order to see some goodness happen. If you're looking to buy Bitcoin and crypto for the first time and you don't know where to get started, head over to CryptosRus.com and click on the best exchange guide. Within, you'll find a list of exchanges that I recommend and some that I use on a daily basis. If you are outside the US, I highly recommend looking at Binance.com first. They are the biggest exchange out there, supported in almost every single country. They have a fantastic fiat on-ramp, off-ramp system. They offer the most trading pairs and the lowest fees in the industry. You could also download a mobile app onto your Android and Apple device very easily. If you are in the US, I recommend taking a look at the sister company of Binance, Binance.us, which offers all of these things and more. So if you want to learn more, head over to CryptosRus.com or utilize the links in the description of this video.